everybody. Welcome to Smiling and Grinding. I'm your host, Brandon Stafford. This is episode one of this fun and exciting podcast. I have here with me today, I have Christina McVey. She is with Keller Williams Realty. Welcome, Christina.
Thanks,
So this
Brandon.
is, this is exciting. In nerve-wracking at the same time. This is my first time hosting, and then I believe this is your first time as a guest. So we'll just kind of get this thing done and share some information and hopefully inspire a few people. So I'll start off with, let's get a little bit of a background from you. Where'd you grow up? High school, anything like that. Let's go with a little background for you right now.
Sure. So I grew up as a military brat. My father was in the Air Force, so I moved around a lot, constantly met new people, had to learn very quickly that you need to be able to make friends very quickly and then be prepared to say goodbye.
Right.
Pretty much. Pretty much, I grew up for the most part in State College, Pennsylvania. Most people have no idea where that is until I say Penn State University, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Happy Valley." So I went to high school there, went to college at Penn State before I transferred to Philadelphia. From Philadelphia, I moved here to Ohio, which was in 2001. So I've been here for quite a while now.
Yep.
I still am a Penn State fan, so hopefully nobody holds that against me.
We'll forgive you for that.
Well, I
Some people get
appreciate
very
that.
territorial. We'll try
Yeah,
to calm that down.
yeah. I'm Penn State all the way here.
All right. All right.
But yeah, so I started Penn State, moved to Philadelphia, finished school there, and then I moved out to Ohio, went to Notre Dame College of Ohio, graduated from there with an art degree. I don't use my art degree now. I have a son who's actually getting married in September, so I'm super excited
Congratulations.
about
That's
that.
just one more thing on your plate, right?
Yeah, but it's all good things. It's all
Yes.
good things.
Yes.
I have two dogs. They keep us really busy. I have a French bulldog named Roscoe. He is definitely the terrorizer. And then we have a pit bull named Daisy. She's a sweetheart. They're both only about 6 months apart. They both act like puppies, even though they're 5 years old. Yeah, that's me.
All right. All right. So let's get into a little bit about kind of what your grind is, right? Kind of what you're doing. I know that you are constantly busy, right? You are working at a law firm. It's kind of your 9 to 5. You do some baking to benefit shelter pets. And then you have a third thing in your realtor and in building up your business with that. It's a lot going on. If you could just kind of touch on each one of those items, how you got started in them, and then we'll go out on the next one.
Sure. So, so my background is in law. I have been working in law firms for about 21 years. My background is litigation. So, for anyone who doesn't know exactly what that is, anytime someone gets sued, we're the lawyers that are either suing you or defending you.
All right.
I am not a lawyer. I just work for them. My job is to make them look good. And I've been doing that for 21 years. I love what I do, but it's very taxing. It's very exhausting. I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to retire and move a little bit away from that.
Yeah.
I do baking on the side. I work with 2 local pit bull groups right now. Currently, it's just a side gig. I started it because I love pit bulls. I love the breed. So I came up with a really cute logo and everything to make them a little less intimidating. I do cupcakes, wedding cakes, birthday cakes, anniversary cakes. Usually I do that nights and weekends. A portion of my profits I donate directly back to the shelters. It's not really something I do to make money on. It's just something that I do to kind of give back to the community. And then real estate. So real estate's my big passion. That is what I am working towards doing completely full time. I love it. Anybody can call me at 2 a.m. And if I'm awake, I'll take your call and I will talk to you about what's going on in the market because I love it that much. And I've been doing that for about 3 years now.
All right. I know that you and I have worked together, and that what I've seen from you, and you even said it, is that you like to work with first-time home buyers, right? People that
Love
are
home.
through the process the first time, and it's super exciting for them. It's also very nerve-wracking, right? It's a huge financial move for them. But explain a little bit why you enjoy working with people that are buying homes for the first time.
Yeah, so I mean, of course I love my sellers and I love my commercial clients and but I remember what it was like for me purchasing my first home, how nervous I was. I didn't understand the process. I had an amazing realtor that basically held my hand, answered my questions before I even really knew what questions I needed to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always kind of stuck with me, just the whole process and how exciting it is to finally be a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
That I love. I absolutely love working with first time home buyers. I like educating them, explaining, the whole process, the excitement that they get when they, are excited to get those keys
Absolutely.
is a little different than someone who's been through the process a few times.
Yes. Yep.
Um, and a lot of times, the first time home buyers, most people don't have these huge three, four, $500,000 budgets. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of them are in that lower range. And just from seeing a lot of agents out there, a lot of them don't want to work with buyers in that price range because it's not a huge commission for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm like, send them to me. I would
Yeah.
love to work them. I like the
Yeah.
people aspect. Of course, the money is always nice. We've got to put food on the table. We've got to pay our bills. But at the end of the day, I love building those relationships. And you have an amazing opportunity to build relationships with first-time home buyers. So I absolutely love them.
Absolutely. So when you were talking about your career with law firms, and you said it's been extremely taxing, and that you started with real estate about 3 years ago. What was it in you talked about some retirement and everything like that, and with being in the real estate industry, a lot of that can be continued beyond the typical retirement age. Um, so 3 years ago when you were getting started, what kind of made you want to make the move to, okay, maybe I should start doing something else and kind of diversify what I'm doing, or kind of set myself up for something once I get closer to retirement? What is there anything that that triggered you to get started down the real estate path?
Yeah, so actually, so my husband and I, we also flip homes on the side. We
Yep.
rehab houses, we sell them. We've been doing that for about 10, almost 11 years together. So, during that whole process, we had always kind of talked about maybe I should get my license just because financially it made sense in terms of the commission side of whenever we
Yep.
went to sell the homes. We just toyed around with it, but I never jumped. Then COVID hit. So COVID hit, corporate job started
Yep.
laying people off.
Yep.
We are in a large firm, but they laid off, like 77 people. I was very fortunate. I was not one of those people,
Mhm.
but we went through 3 rounds of layoffs. And I said to myself, I need a plan B.
Yeah.
What would have happened if I would have been laid off? My husband's self-employed, and he was one of those where nobody wanted him coming to their homes. He's a general
Oh yeah, good
contractor.
point.
All his jobs shut down. So he was
Hmm.
kind of hanging out at the house. And I was like, oh no, what's going to happen if I lose my job
That's
too?
another reason to get busy and get out of the house, right? When everyone's in
Yeah.
the house
So
together for a long period of time, everyone gets a little bit hairy.
yeah, I love him, but you need your space.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
so I said, this is a perfect time for me to just jump the gun, get my feet in the water and let's go for it. So I did the classes online. I took my test on the weekends, got into it. And again, at first, we just thought this would be something that would help us financially with our rehabbing homes.
Hmm.
And once I started dealing with clients and really like diving in, it's just become a whole different meaning of doing it. It's not something that I see myself retiring from,
Hmm.
because it doesn't feel like work to me. Yeah, there's those long days. There's a lot of, stress that goes along with it. But at the end of the day, because you're working on those relationships with people, it just seems like a socialization.
Absolutely. It sure does. It
Yeah,
really
yeah.
does. And, just working through different things with different people really lets you see a lot of different personalities and everything like that. But you also touched on something just now that I was going to ask you about. So, your husband, Jason, obviously is also, or is self-employed, right? He's been a contractor for how long has he been doing it?
Almost 30 years. I mean, he
Almost 30
started when he
years.
was a kid. His parents grew up as his parents were missionaries growing up. So even at 16 years old, he was going over to Jamaica and Aruba and helping with Habitat for Humanity and these other places in the church building homes. So he
Hmm.
started at a very young age. As soon as he got into his 20s, he was working for other contractors,
Hmm.
working on homes. And then very young age, he decided he didn't like working for other people, making them money. So he went off on his own and he's been doing that ever since.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's awesome. Your situation is unique because, both of you are loosely in the same industry, right? When it comes to flipping homes and everything like that. So, him being a contractor, you being a realtor, it complements each other very well. And, you're talking about COVID and, so Jason was home and, he couldn't go into people's houses because, that was nobody did that anymore, right? People didn't even go to the grocery
yep.
store without stuff, and but it was a weird time, and I was going to ask you about how you and Jason collaborate, but you explained that well, and I just think that that's a very cool aspect, right? Because
You
both
know,
of you are very
it,
passionate about it. Jason has worked on two of my houses actually, and did a fantastic job. And if we ever need anything, we call him right away because it's when that somebody takes pride in what they do, that's somebody that you want to have keep coming back because they always do a great job. So you guys being able to, both work on the same type of projects and everything, I'm sure that you guys learned a lot about each other that you didn't know maybe. Has there been any hairy situations that have come up or anything
I
like
mean,
that?
I think that the real estate industry, the construction industry, like they're pretty cutthroat industries.
Yeah.
I think that it helps knowing that he's in the same kind of industry, even though we are on separate like job duties
Yep.
within that industry. We're both in the real estate industry. So I think it actually really helps us because I understand when he gets a call at 9 o'clock at night because one of his clients has an emergency plumbing situation he's got to run out.
Yeah.
He understands when we're supposed to have plans on a Saturday afternoon. I get a call from a client and they're like, hey, this house just went on the market. And I'm like, babe, sorry, I got to go. And he's like,
Yeah.
go do your thing.
Yep.
So I think it actually is really helps. Sometimes we do cross over a little bit.
Yep.
He likes to add his input, especially with, I'll have clients that are looking at homes that need some work
Yep.
and they'll start asking me questions like, well, how much is this going to cost? How much is that? I'm like, let me get on the phone or let me have
Mhm.
my husband come with me. It's especially great with my investor clients to have a contractor there walking through and pointing out things. Sometimes though, he likes to say, oh, well, you should only pay this for this house. I'm like, would you stop talking? You don't know the comps. So sometimes
Leave
it's
this part
like,
up to me.
yeah, I'm like, you do your part, I'll do my
Yep.
part. So
Yep.
sometimes, it can be a little hard, especially when we are flipping homes. It's
Yep.
hard for him sometimes to see me as the realtor and not his business partner or wife. So
Hmm.
sometimes that can get a little sticky. But, overall, I really think that the two professions really mesh well.
Yeah. Yep. And that's awesome. And you guys are both doing very well. So, you know, if you if you were to give advice, I guess what advice would you have for somebody that would be considering, adding something like being a realtor on top of their career? What advice would you tell them as far as if they should do it, when they should, anything like that? What type of advice, I guess, would you have liked, when you were getting started?
So, I have a lot of people actually that ask me, "Oh, is it a good time to be a realtor?" Because some people are like, "Oh, the market's so saturated with agents." And that's true. There's a ton of us. I mean, almost any person that you ask, they probably can name 5 people that they know
Hmm.
that do this job. What I like to say to that is, who cares?
Yeah.
Just because someone knows 5 agents, they may not even call one of those 5. They may ask a friend for a referral because they don't feel comfortable with that person. If you have a passion or you think you might have a passion for this, I would say meet with multiple people who already do the job, because what one brokerage may offer you may not be what you need. Maybe it's a different brokerage. Like, I love my brokerage. I love Keller Williams. I love my team,
Mm-hmm.
but not everyone's going to mix well. So maybe they'll have to go to another brokerage. But the biggest thing is know ahead of time that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of unpaid hours. It's a lot of time of working on vacations, time away from your.
Yep.
It's very large commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, oh, I go home and look at pretty houses and then the money rolls in.
Yeah.
No, it's
That's not how it
inspections, it's
is. I
with
thought that's how it
lenders.
worked.
Well, I mean, sometimes we do that, but I mean, there's a lot of work behind the scenes
Yep.
that even our clients don't get to see, because the whole reason of them hiring us is to take that pressure off of them and make it a seamless, easy as possible process. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things that go on behind the scene that a lot of people don't realize. So it's really a good idea, even just to shadow somebody before you start shelling out money on classes and things like that. So that would be
Right.
my advice, is just make sure that this is something you really want to do and really, really research before you jump in.
Yeah. And then do it, right? And then just go for it.
Yeah. And then go for it. And once you're in, just go for it.
Yeah.
Follow people, volunteer for open houses, shadow people, just basically be that squeaky, and you'll be the one that starts.
Yeah. Really just immerse yourself into it and learn everything you can.
Yeah. And it takes
So
time.
yes, it absolutely takes time. It absolutely takes time. And, jumping into, starting, your own creating your own revenue and everything, it's not immediate gratification. There's a lot of
No.
putting in time and everything like that, and networking and, setting yourself up for long-term success. So, the name of the podcast is Smiling and Grinding, right? And you have some very fulfilling items, whether it be baking for the shelter pets, putting people, in their dream homes, or your long-term law career. So, what motivates you and gets you where every day you wake up and you're just smiling and you grind, and what's that motivation that really keeps you going every
So the coffee helps me smile.
day? Yes.
Number one, I need my coffee that helps me smile. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I love to travel and I love being able to do things, whether it be take someone out to lunch and pay their bill, or, I'm out at the store and I see something, oh, you know what, that reminds me of my sister. I'm just going to pick this up for her.
Mhm.
Those little things, I thrive for those. I'm also a very competitive person.
Mhm.
So anytime that I know that I'm going to break a goal that I had, or, do a little better than I did the year before, that really pushes me. And then the ability to be able to bake without charging, these places for when they have fundraisers, if I can have the funds that I can bake for them so that they can go and earn money for their shelter,
Yep.
that makes me feel good. So I'm on a grind as much as I can to make sure that I'm able to do those things that I enjoy doing, like the traveling and the baking, because those are what makes me happy. The
Yeah.
job doesn't make, it's like,
Yep.
we're going to your 9 to 5. It's not really makes you happy, but the things that you get out of it makes you happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I thought that was great, great answer. So tell people right now, how can they get a hold of you if they're interested in buying or selling, or interested in you, baking some goods for a local shelter? How can they get a hold of you?
Sure. So, as far as real estate, feel free you can call me. My number is 330-635-7500. You can also shoot me a text. I am almost always on my phone or have my phone near me. So, I'm very quick to respond. And then you can also email me at cmcvey@kw.com. I'm very quick to respond to emails as well. And then for cakes, cupcakes, anything like that, same phone number, or you can find me on Facebook at Pitty Cakes. It's a big logo with a little Pitty head on it, and yeah, you
I'll
can
edit
send me
that
an
in
Insta.
for you. I'll get that on there so that everyone can recognize it.
Yeah,
I'll get it in
yeah.
there for you.
All
So,
right.
so great. I appreciate you being on, episode one. I think that you're doing a lot of great things. You and Jason partnering up is awesome. I just think it's a great story, very unique as well. Everybody, you can reach me as well, 440-570-7617 or brandon.stafford@ccm.com if you know anybody that is looking to buy, sell, or refinance. But Christina, again, thank you very much for being the inaugural guest. I thought it was
Yeah, thanks for
fantastic.
letting me be the guinea pig on episode one.
In a good way, right? Absolutely in a good way.
Let's go viral now.
Let's go viral. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck with all of your ventures that you're working on right now. And I'm sure that, once you have two and three, that you start doing four and five and you start traveling to cooler places and everything like that. So I appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day and we'll make this thing go viral.
Yeah, sounds good.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye.